welcome Helsinki
Welcome,
Project to the
Helsinki
show.
Project.
Hi guys. Thank
What's
you.
going
Hello.
on? How you doing?
Hey. How are
Great.
you?
I'm looking forward to this.
Oh, yes, I know. We've been so excited. I know a lot of other people have been excited and like really hyped for this. So,
Oh, yeah.
so we're so happy to have you. Thank you so much for taking the time to, talk with us.
Yeah, man. I know. It's definitely late for you, right? It's because we're in America, so I know we're probably like way
Yeah, I
ahead,
mean,
or you're
I'm
ahead of
old, but
us.
I'm not
One of
that
the
old.
two.
It's not too late for this. We're okay.
I appreciate it.
Not too late.
Appreciate it.
We can still
No, we're
party.
okay.
We
Another
can
half
still
hour,
party.
we're okay.
Yeah. All right. So we'll wrap this up really quick. So, so we're just so excited to have you. What is going on in your life? How is life for Helsinki Project?
How is life for Helsinki Project? I tell you what, it's been a world.
Yeah.
Literally, 4 months ago, it was nothing. Helsinki Project was just a little idea I had, a name I come up with, who I put music together in my bedroom. I put it up on SoundCloud. It was just me, my songs on SoundCloud, out for the world, but it wasn't really to go anywhere. I wasn't really looking forward to go anywhere other than that. But since then, since I found synthwave, things have changed an awful lot. It's very different. I mean, I've made music for 15 years, different genres, orchestral or dance music, trance. But when I found synthwave, I began playing around with synthwave style of music. People seem to really become very interested in it. So I began making more of it, and I got more and more feedback from it. So I wanted to make more of it. I'm only tracks in, but to be honest, it's a very exciting time. There's an awful lot going on at the minute, and I have so many musical ideas. I'm kind of ready to burst with them, but it's exciting, great.
That's exciting, man. That's so awesome. I mean, we've got people in here that are already loving the new song that you got out too, man. Just so you know, people are itching for it. They're itching for this new stuff, and I
That's
love
great.
that bug that gets
know.
you with this synth wave. It's like electrifying. Like we were talking before. It's like the new punk rock.
It is. It is. Well, and you're so good at it. It's like you just came right in head first and you just went for it and you are absolutely killing it. So it's just that much more exciting when
Thank you so
someone
much.
yeah, of course, when someone's so new to it to come in so strong. It's really really cool and exciting to see. Um so we'll start at the beginning. What made you become a musician? What got you into making music at all?
Oof, this goes way back. This goes way back to when I was a kid. I mean, I'm going back to. We all listened to music, but it became listening to music wasn't enough. I wanted to control it a little bit, so DJing became interesting to me. I was looking to kind of play the tracks that I wanted to hear. So I did this at home. Me and a friend of mine, PJ, he sadly passed away. My best friend, he passed away a couple of weeks back. But the two of us grew up together with music. We we got one single deck and we got a bunch of records off a friend and we played this one deck with these couple of records like we were DJs in the making. We just played them and we thought we were the coolest thing because we are controlling the music now.
Hell yeah.
We started buying more records. We gave back that one record player and we got our own two decks and we started mixing music together, which was brilliant. It was so fun to just, I love this track, I love this track, I love this track, I love this track. Let's put them all together and see if they blend together. And we started doing our own thing with that. After maybe a year or two, PJ went on DJing and he went on to do clubs and he was doing brilliant things. He had huge amounts of people in listening to his music. I went off the other way. While he was doing this, playing the songs that he loved, I was listening to the songs that he loved, thinking that beat would be better if it was heavier here, or if it was a longer break there,
All right.
or what if it had a kind of a screaming synth coming in on this part. So I didn't want to play music anymore. I wanted to make, I wanted to edit them or change them and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So then I started making dance music, thinking, well, this is what I wanted to do. This is what I wanted to sound like. Now, this was early days. To be honest, the music sounded kind of crap. but it was a great.
I'm sure it
I'm
was
sure it was
good.
good,
I'm
man.
sure it was good.
I love the old school dance music, man.
Oh
That's
my
what got me
God.
into everything, all the synth stuff.
I
Yes,
dipped my
yes.
toe into it and I loved it. Even though it wasn't good, I got to experiment with this whole new world of making your own sound.
Yeah.
So dance music was great, but I didn't get to be as musical with it because I love orchestral music too. So I wanted to kind of do more strings and brass and percussion and stuff like that. So I did both for a long time.
That's awesome.
That's what I was doing for years. But nothing within that really inspired me to. None of that inspired me the way synthwave has inspired me. Put it that way, because in everything I've done in the years I've been making music, and I'm talking maybe one track every 6 months, and that'd be tipping away at it for a few minutes in an evening every few evenings. Like I've got 4 tracks in 4 months now. That's never happened before. What's
That's awesome,
inspired me
That's
man.
now
great.
is the sound of yesteryear. We're going back to the
Yeah.
80s.
Yeah.
Analog, just just that. No frills, no digital, no nothing crazy. Just analog warmth and beauty in it.
Yes.
And I realized we all loved that before,
Mm-hmm.
and I love doing that now. So then I started exploring synthwave, and well, it's just blown up since. The musical ideas just don't stop. Like 24/7, there's some musical idea in my head that stops me thinking of something I need to be doing in the day.
See, that's the beauty of it,
It
dude.
can
That's
be.
the beauty of it. I
I
love that.
yeah. That's it is
So
amazing.
I guess that brings me to so how like what brought you to synthwave? Like how new are you to this? Like so it seems like to me it seems like this is like very new, obviously. So what artists and like what stuff like grabbed you instantly? Like what was it like what synthwave like what was it about synthwave that just grabbed you and made you light on fire?
You know, I was talking to my wife a couple of times, and in these songs, these tracks that I have made since in the synthwave genre, she said, "You've been kind of doing this anyway. I can hear what you're doing with this music now in your older music. These driving bass lines or the big chorded synths and stuff like that. I did do that before, but not in the same way. So I think for quite a few years, it's been in me, grown and waiting to become what it is become now. Um, I listened to my brother actually introduced me to Gunship, which was the first time. That was probably a year and a half ago. That was the first time I realized old sounds are current sounds. You know, they brought
Yes.
what was
Yes.
before to now, and they made it sound current. And I was like, okay, well, it's relevant to do that. I want to mess with that. And I started messing with that, and I've just fallen in love with it.
That's
I
great.
love it, man.
Gunship
I love
was
it.
my gateway to synthwave as well. So that is a very good very good gateway. Well, and it's just like you said, you know, what people are creating now, it's it's little tastes and love letters to the past, but it's through
Right.
our eyes now. It's like
Yeah.
looking back, we're looking behind, while still pushing it forward, and it's so, I mean, that's what's so exciting about it to me, and why I was so excited to hear your work, because I heard that. I could hear, the all of the recalls to everything, like He-Man, the 80s Transformers cartoon, like that epic, 80s adventurous sound, but it
Yeah.
sounds new and it sounds original and futuristic at the same time, and I just love it.
Absolutely.
It's so cool.
And I really, I definitely sensed and heard that dance background, that electronic music background that you're talking about in the track that we first played. I definitely felt that, but it was really cool. It was I almost felt your transition from that to the synth wave, into like this new
Okay.
venture.
Like the
It was
in-between.
like really cool. It was like, this is like the backbone. This is where I am, and this is where I'm going.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Look, it's a journey. To be honest with you, it's a journey. I've thrown 2 feet in and started exploring it, but I've literally step my 2 feet inside a couple of trees, and the forest is massive of exploration. It's just, there's so much to explore, so much to dabble with, so many sounds to play with. I mean, I don't know where I'm going to go with this. I mean, I'll
Yeah.
probably go off in several different directions where the name Helsinki Project is kind of tied in with a particular sound at the minute, because I mean, because it's so new. I'm so new to this. Literally, 2021 is when this started for me. Making music, 15 years. We're only talking 6 months where this has actually become a big thing, something that I
Right.
wanted to take serious.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
people are actually taking me serious. They're actually, the feedback is unbelievable. I want to hear more of this, or where did you get the sound from, or this
Yeah.
sounds
Yeah.
amazing. It's like the feedback's incredible. I only do this for my love of music,
Hmm.
and particularly my love of 80s sounding music. I just do it for me,
Yeah.
and it's amazing to have other people come back to me and say, "I love what you're doing. I want to hear more."
I
It's,
love
It's the
it, man.
I
I
mean,
love
coolest.
it.
what could you
Yeah.
want, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Well, and especially
Absolutely.
when you pour your heart into something, the way you
Absolutely.
clearly
Yeah.
do, to put it out there for people and people to get it and feel it and know what you're trying to do. That's powerful. I mean, I
It's
can
yeah, it's
understand why
true
you're
vulnerability.
like, all right, more, 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 more,
Yeah, yeah.
I
Well,
can
you have
totally
to
get
do
it.
it because you love it. I mean, it's like if you had an artist who painted some picture onto a canvas and brought it out and said to the world, "This is what I've done." I mean, it's the same kind of exposure. You're putting yourself out there for people to judge. I didn't do it because I wanted to be judged for it. I just do it because I love it, and I'm hoping people resonate with it.
Yeah,
That's right.
And it just so
Yeah.
happens that they really did, you know.
yeah,
I
man.
love it. I know. I see it on your Instagram. People are just blowing you up. Everyone in the comments like, "Oh, I can't wait." Everyone waiting for this new track, which by the way, stick around. We are going to hear the new track
Yes, we will.
today. We will listen to it. We actually already have some people in the comments already saying how much they love it.
Absolutely,
So
man. The love is here.
the love is here for sure. So yeah, so we're gonna check that out a little later. So stick around. Spoiler. But yeah, so going, touching back to like some of the stuff that you were talking about with the 80s influences and going back to your past. We've mentioned that you seem to have a very cinematic sound to your music.
Okay.
Are you influenced by like movie scores and things like that? Is that something that you do, call back on when you're writing?
Absolutely. Often I find there's soundtracks that'll stick. Inception will be a particular soundtrack. Hans Zimmer will be a massive influence for me.
Hmm.
Not that I can play to the standard of Hans Zimmer, but what he does
Only
is
Hans Zimmer can play up to Hans Zimmer.
big up to Hans. The likes of Interstellar and Inception. Often I'd hear a soundtrack to a film, and I'd come away remembering the soundtrack more than the film. Oftentimes,
Yeah.
Yeah.
some musical piece will have stuck out in my mind. The film's long over. We're talking days gone, and my mind's just doing something with that, making something else of it. What would Helsinki Project do, and could I use that? And oftentimes, what I'm listening to in films does inspire when I'm doing the music.
Yeah.
I'm here. I didn't realize it, to be honest with you, that it was as sort of epic or soundtrack vibe from what I was doing. I just made these sounds because this is what I thought sounded good. This is
Yeah.
how it comes across, and I do have a lot of interest in orchestral music, going back to the likes of these movies. So I think, without even knowing it, I am trying to infuse that a little bit. You know,
Yeah.
it's
Okay.
not just arpeggiated sequences and stuff like that. There has to be layers and chords and chord progressions and stuff to it, and it has to be done in the right way to move people in a particular way, because sound is a language. I know it's a cliche. I know people say it all the
Hey,
time,
it's the truth.
but
100%. It's the truth. It's the truth.
that is the truth. I mean,
Yep.
it does move you. It speaks to you in a certain way that words will never do it. So you get these sounds, it means something to you. You put them down, you layer them with some more sounds, or you arrange them in a certain way that makes it a language that makes sense to you. And when other people resonate with that, it's the coolest thing to have someone say, that works, that's so cool. I love what you did there. Because you've made this language yourself with your own sounds, and someone went, I get it. You
Wow.
know,
Yeah.
that's a
That
big
is a
thing.
really,
It's a
That's
big
really
thing.
cool way to
powerful,
put
man.
it.
Yeah, that's powerful. It's so true. You're bearing, your soul, you're being vulnerable, you're creating something and then having somebody
Absolutely.
receive it. It's beautiful. It's
It's
beautiful,
so
man. It's
cool.
It
Yeah.
is.
awesome.
Yeah, but I like the idea of it, that it's your own little language
Yeah. And it's
that
being
you know and
Yeah.
you
received.
Well,
understand. Yeah, it's
I
so
love that.
cool. That's so cool. Well, and that's,
It puts that personal touch onto everything,
yes,
and
exactly.
that's why it is so powerful when you get these responses like this, because it's like, wow, people are understanding my language,
Yep.
and like,
absolutely.
wow, like
Absolutely.
it's really cool, man.
Yeah, I love it. Well, you mentioned Interstellar as a movie that influences you, right? What any 80s movies that stick out to you? Any nostalgic stuff?
80s movies, to be honest with you, the 80s movies, they don't stick out as such. It's the vibe of the 80s movies. There's an awful lot of, it's the analog warmth of 80s that I love. It's
Yeah.
the synthesizer in the 80s that I love. There's so much music from the 80s that I love, and it's boppy and it's great, and you dance along to it, and that's
Sure.
brilliant. Then
Yeah.
there's the movies, they'll put in the string sections, stuff like that, but there's synths in there as well. It's really just analog synths that
Analog
whenever I think of the
synths.
80s, the uh, the common denominator is synthesizer. I
Yeah.
just I love music, but it always came back to synthesizer. I don't have a clear movie that sticks out. I just have the 80s sticking out like a beacon saying,
Like,
hey,
yeah, as a whole.
I
Yeah.
you
love it.
know?
Yeah.
Well, is there any artists that stick out to you? Is there any particular yeah, is there any particular person that inspires you to keep like moving on? Like you said, Hans Zimmer and stuff like that. Is there anybody else that you like
Oh my.
would inspire to maybe even collab with or something in
Oh.
the future?
Do you know what? Since discovering synthwave, and even though I'm going back maybe a year and a half with Gunship, um, I actually thought Gunship were really the only people doing this. So I listened to the Gunship and I listened to their albums. I listened to their album, one album, and I listened through that thinking, this is my little pocket of 80s that I get to keep. And
Okay.
I didn't
Oh.
realize I could expand on that. And once I started realizing there's so many different artists doing this, I was like, oh my God, where
Where do I
I
sign
haven't
up?
stopped. You're saying you're saying that by being inspired. I mean, uh, there's a there's a band, Royksoft. They've been absolutely brilliant with their music,
Mhm.
vocals and musically. I would say they hark back very much to the 80s. Lyed being a very industrial cyberpunk sound. Once I discovered them, I was like, oh my God, I have to do some stuff with this as
Yeah.
well. Absolute Valentine was the sole inspiration behind Cyberdrive,
Oh
which
wow.
we
Okay.
talked about. I literally listened to that track, um, and 10 minutes later, I sat down and I had the first half of that track written.
That's
I knew
awesome.
exactly the mood, the energy, and the absolute slap in the face vibe from that song. I said, I have to do something like that. And I put it down. And then I'm listening to the likes of Marvel 83 or Carbon Killer. These guys are doing other vibes of this whole 80s, the synthwave buzz. And I just realized that it's a huge umbrella of sound.
Yeah.
Synthwave just, there's something for everybody in it. You can be chill or you can be absolutely banging your head off the wall,
Bad shit
lunacy,
crazy.
energy. There's
Yes.
everything, it's, you say who inspires me, all of everything.
Yeah.
All of these people are putting their own language out there with what they're doing with their sounds, and I can understand so much from what they're saying. and I kind of want to do my own thing within what they're doing. There's
I love it.
there's a sound from here, a sound from there, a section they've done there, something else. It's I want to take all of it and just do Helsinki's version of
Hell yeah.
what that
That's
would be,
That's awesome.
my own
Yes.
interpretation of it. Like
I
it's
love
all
that.
Yeah.
perfectly all.
Throw your own signature onto it.
Yeah, well, and I love I feel, as I hear some of your creative process, I feel like we're very much kindred spirits because a lot of that spark, when you hear something and you're just like, I got to do something. It's like I feel like almost every week when we're doing Taste the Underground, like when I heard your track, like certain tracks you hear and you're just like, I need to go right now. I have something right now, and it happens every time.
I need to join this party now.
Yes. So I'm actually gonna hop over to chat right now.
Yeah, welcome
because we have some love in the chat going on. Thank you so much, Wild, for cheering the bits. So our friend Helsinki Project, he can't see the chat right now, but please keep showing the love.
Yes,
we want to make
please
sure
do.
that he knows that we have the love here for him. So thank you guys all for hanging out. We do see you there in chat. We love you guys. Thank you, Marissa, for coming. Thank you, Wild.
And everybody, make sure if you have any questions, just wait till the end because we're going to open it up for the chat too.
Yeah. At the end, we'll let you know when we'll take some questions from the chat. We took some questions from our Discord as well. So we'll make sure we get everyone in there. All right. So I think it's time to hear some of your music because I don't know about you, but talking to you about your music is getting me excited about your music. So I want to hear some.
Just a little bit.
Here's some music.
Yes.
All
So we're going to
right,
listen
man.
to some music.
So let's listen to some music.
So, so we have, as Helsinki mentioned, he has a couple tracks out right now. So we're actually going to be playing these for you guys. And so we'll go through each track. And Helsinki, if you can just, let us know some of your creative process behind the song, or any just like cool little tidbits about like when you were writing the song, what you were trying to go with it or what your inspiration is, whatever you want to let us know.
Sure thing.
We're just interested to hear how you do all this. So we're gonna get into it and listen to some Helsinki Project.
All right. First one up is The Equalizer.
So this one we did play on stream last week. This was the track that we premiered during episode 7 of Taste in the Underground. This is just a banger.
Hell
I'm just
yeah.
saying it now. Mr. Frogger in chat says The Equalizer is his favorite of your tracks.
Oh, man. All right. Oh, God.
Oh, I love this so much. I legit listened to this song like on repeat in my car the other day because it was just so epic and it's just so good to drive to.
Perfect cruise.
Perfect cruise.
Love that. You get that perfect cruise. Just makes me put your sunglasses on.
Yeah, that's
All
right.
the world.
This part's really cool. That little.
You need variation, don't you?
I love the little tidbits, the little ear candies. Oh, I love that. I'm such a sucker for it. Oh, Mr. Frogger saying they get the early previews. They're lucky.
VIP.
Oh shit. Wait. There we go. Helsinki will be right back.
1 minute.
I wonder how awkward it is for him to just watch us dancing because we're all he can see right now.
Oh yeah.
So he's just awkwardly watching us. He's a good sport. It's alright, we're having fun. Isn't he awesome? He's awesome.
Hell yeah, dude.
He's awesome. Give it up for Helsinki.
Yeah, man, show that love in the chat. Please go add this to your playlist, guys. Like this is some hot shit right here, dude.
It is start to finish, just a solid, good song. It gives you. Oh, hey, we were just talking about you.
Oh, damn.
Oh
So,
shit.
before I tied up there, I had my favourite bit of that song, which is actually when the synths end and there's that arpeggiated sequence and the beat and the bass. I love that bit. That's actually my favourite bit of the song.
It's so good.
Oh man.
So yeah, tell us a little bit about you writing this track and coming up with this track.
This one, so this was my fourth song actually that I wrote. I had a couple before that were really, they're just nice driving vibe songs, nice and chill, lovely little twinkly chords and parts in them and stuff like that. And as much as I love that, because